If the Earth were flat, what's stopping all the water from spilling off the edges? The idea of ships falling into some void sounds ridiculous, right? But that's exactly the image people push when they mock the flat Earth theory. Therefore, what if I told you that this whole falling off the edge idea is just a distraction? There's another explanation that actually makes a lot more sense. Picture this: a massive frozen barrier surrounding the world, keeping the oceans in place. I know it sounds wild, but it's not a new idea. Therefore, it's worth exploring. Ice walls have been depicted in maps for over 1,000 years. One of the earliest examples comes from the 11th century, drawn by the famous scholar Al-Biruni. At the time, it wasn't controversial, it was just part of how the world was understood. But fast forward to today, and we've been taught something very different. The same maps that used to show the Earth as flat with ice walls have been rebranded as projections of a spherical Earth. Therefore, we need to ask, could these maps hold some truth? You've probably heard of the azimuthal equidistant map, right? It shows the world as a flat circle with the North Pole in the center. Modern cartographers claim it's just a flattened version of the globe, but what if it's actually the opposite? What if the globe model was reverse engineered from the original flat map? Therefore, consider this. If ice walls have been acknowledged in maps for over a millennium, why aren't they talked about more today? Why aren't we exploring these ancient depictions and asking whether they might hold some truth? Maybe the idea of ice walls isn't so far-fetched after all. Antarctica, still largely unexplored, is the perfect candidate for a natural barrier that keeps the world's oceans in check. Here's a fun example. Next time you're on a plane, notice how far Antarctica seems and how it's not part of most commercial flight paths. But what if that's because it's not just some remote frozen continent? Therefore, it could be the very thing holding our world together. It's hard to say for sure, but the idea of these ice walls is worth thinking about, especially when ancient maps point to their existence.